Okay, it is the 10th of November 2019, and just going to have a look at three pairs which I talked about in the past, which I'm also looking at into the month of November. Firstly, let's look at the Aussie dollar. Looking at the Aussie dollar composite, which is the Aussie dollar across a broad range of currencies. So this is equivalent to a US dollar index, but basically it's an Aussie dollar index. We have the Aussie dollar continuing to move in a downtrend, testing the top of the trend line. So it'll be interesting to see over the next week what happens here. If the Aussie dollar breaks out, that's potentially bullish, but my lean is for this to turn down and continue the downtrend. So we need to observe this over next week. It will be a critical phase. If we break this downtrend, it could signify a turning point and be potentially bullish. We have divergence on the index in the past on the weekly, so interesting to see if this divergence plays out. So that's one to watch, overall Aussie dollar strength. Moving to Bitcoin. We had a big move up. As I spoke about in my last video, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I was looking for a lower low around 7,003. We got that at 7,280. We set up a nice divergence on the daily. Big shoot up. Now testing the what we call monthly pivot. So hanging around the monthly pivot. I would like to see this continue the trend upwards. So I like to see this. My target would be about 1-2 to start with. One of the indicators I look at is Bitcoin's correlation with Tesla stock. And looking at Bitcoin correlation with Tesla stock had a big jump around 24th October, and around that period Bitcoin took off. So that corresponds to around here, 25th October, which I found very interesting. So Tesla stock went up and so did Bitcoin, keeping that correlation going. So this is our correlation of Bitcoin against Tesla. So we went out of Bollinger Bands based on the Tesla announcement. I was very bullish for Tesla stock, and then after that Bitcoin quickly caught up by shooting up, and we went back within the Bollinger Bands. So there is a correlation between Bitcoin and Tesla so far, and it's still holding out. And it's held out all the way since 2018. So I use this as an indicator to short or buy Bitcoin based on correlation with Tesla. So this was a buying opportunity. I am still bullish on Bitcoin. I talked about it in my past video why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, fundamentals reasons for bullishness on Bitcoin. Yeah, one to watch. And I'm hoping for conversion on monthly pivot. Back test of this downtrend. Let's zoom in on this a bit more. So downtrend, break out of the downtrend, back test the downtrend, and off we go to the upside. So that's what I like to see, continuation to the upside. Towards 1200. We had divergence, it's playing out. So one to watch, conversion and upside. So that's Bitcoin. Next we have gold. I talked about why I was bullish gold more on the basis of the weakness of US dollar, but I also want to look at the technical analysis of what I see in gold. Looking on the weekly chart for gold, what I do see is this complex inverse head and shoulders. Now this is hard to see head and shoulders. It's pretty complex, where you have the left shoulder here, head, and then the right shoulder. But thus far, I've seen this trend line hold reliably, and we have broken out of it. And I potentially see this pattern holding out. Now, if this pattern plays out as I think it will, we would have a target of about 1713 to 1720, approximately there, 1713 to 1720. Where we are now is approximately 1460 on gold versus US dollar. So taking you through where we are, we broke out of the major neckline, So we broke out, bullish move, and we started a flag formation here. And we had a big down day on Friday of this week. Now, we haven't broken the bull flag. And if I take the measured move from the bull flag from the start of it, which is here to here, and extend it to the proposed destination, that would also line up with 1713 to 1720, which is the same target as our inverse head and shoulders. So this is not going to happen overnight. This whole inverse head and shoulders started since 2013. But if it does play out, and I suspect it may play out sometime towards by the end of 2020, we're looking at another $250 of upside on gold. So what I would like to see is this bull flag not to be broken to the downside. So the lowest we can go on the bull flag would be around 1426 support level, and that should still hold the bull flag, and then I'm hoping we turn up from there and continue to the upside. So this could be a flush of all the red bulls into gold. Worst case scenario, we could go down and test the neckline as a back test, which would come in at around 1340 to 1320. So we could make the bull flag, back test the neckline, and then go from there. So that's another possibility. I wouldn't rule that out. So I think there's a 30% chance of that. 70% chance maybe we stay in the bull flag and turn up from there. A lot of this depends on the fundamentals of the US dollar, the S&P 500, the risk aversion, etc., etc. So many fundamental factors, and if US dollar continues to do their own form of QE, that will be bullish for gold. So for now, watching this bull flag closely. I don't want to see a close below 1420-ish. The close below that would invalidate the bull flag and means we are potentially heading towards the neckline. Again, this move could take time to play out, and even the backtest could take time to play out. So my target for 1720-ish would be by end of 2020. So one to watch. So that's it. Mainly bullish on Bitcoin, bullish on gold, pending the backtest or the bull flag, the check of the bull flag, and watching Aussie dollar across the index. A break of this downtrend would be bullish overall for the Aussie dollar across the index. So we break this downtrend, then I'll be looking across the individual pair what's the best way to play the bullishness on the Aussie dollar. That's it so far for the month of November. It's been a quiet month. There hasn't been as much volatility as I would like, so I haven't seen many solid trade setups. So taking it slow. There's a lot of news-driven events which can potentially knock traders out of their stops. So waiting for confirmation on these three potential setups. That's it for now.